This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news this evening, passengers and crew of a Western Air flight are all fortunate to be alive tonight after the aircraft was forced to make a crash landing here in Freeport. Unconfirmed reports tell us that the aircraft was en route to New Providence from Bimini when the aircraft developed problems and crash landed at the Grand Bahama International Airport. Onlookers at the airport telling ZNS News that the aircraft landed on its side and skidded off the runway at the rear of the airport. Reports say some 33 passengers were on board and 2 were taken to hospital for minor injuries. Now, at last report, the EMS personnel were still on the scene and the remaining passengers were a bit shaken up. We have a news crew on the scene and we will bring you further details as the information becomes available. In other news, a big investment in the pipeline for the Bohemian Brewery. The facility is spending in excess of $2 million on an expansion program that is projected to have a far-reaching positive impact on the Grand Bahama economy. Operators outlined their plans following a meeting at the Ministry of Grand Bahama this week. Kimberly Mullings was there.
The Bohemian Brewery and Beverage Company Limited first opened its doors in 2007 with just 14 employees with an initial investment of $15 million. Since then, the company has grown. 120 persons are now employed and the investment has tripled. The brewery is currently expanding their warehouse facility on Queens Highway, costing some $2 million to complete. CEO James Sands explains why he has remained committed throughout the years to the island.
I chose Grand Bahama because of the geographical location. They had some benefits here which attracted me to come to Grand Bahama. And I also have a very, very soft spot for Grand Bahama because after all my mother was born in West End.
Sands grew up in the industry close to his father, who is the co-owner of Butler & Sands. He says after a while he could not stand to see the industry become monopolized. Now he employs 2 of his own children and is proud to say the brewery is 100% Bahamian owned and operated.
With my patriotic Bahamianization in me, I took it upon myself to sow the seed and bring back the industry back to Bahamian people where I think it should belong. So here we are today. With this multi-million-dollar investment that I have created, and although I've created it, it's us Bahamians who've made it a success.
Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, extended well wishes to Sands and the Bohemian Brewery family for embarking on this initiative.
This expansion is yet another sign of the strong investor confidence in both our government policies as well as the local economy here on Grand Bahama. I wish to thank the executives of the Bohemian Brewery and their continued commitment to the island of Grand Bahama, but special thanks to Mr. James Sands for his leadership and support over the years.
Sands commends Minister Darville for all of the tremendous support he has given to Grand Bahama Island and by extension the brewery.
I can see that with your efforts that we will overcome these burdens that we've been facing. It's been long overdue that we needed somebody such as yourself to take the command here in Grand Bahama and try to do the betterment of the Grand Bahamian people.
He says there is more to come for the Bohemian Brewery and Beverage Company Limited as they continue to grow. Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
While the government of the Bahamas is addressing some of the pressing needs in East Grand Bahama, yesterday a master plan was rolled out for the commissioning of a potable water system, a new cemetery, and phase 1 of the government's Crown Housing subdivision in McLeanstown. Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, says improvements to the healthcare system is also on tap for that area.
Projects that we have in the pipeline will come to fruition, and shortly we will begin to unveil our plan for the construction of a $1.2 million facility for healthcare delivery here in High Rock. I'm excited about it because me and the Member of Parliament have spoken about it. The necessity to bring ambulance services is part of our plan for the launch of national health insurance.
Dr. Darville says these improvements will help to lessen the burden of the people in East Grand Bahama.
I remain committed to the residents of East Grand Bahama, but more specifically the residents of High Rock, that the government understands that this particular facility, even though the facility is providing the health care necessary for the residents, it does not meet the standard of the delivery of the quality of health care that is necessary prior to the launch of National Health Insurance, and we remain committed for the construction of this new healthcare facility and to provide ambulance services for the residents of East Grand Bahama.
Switching gears now, officials of the Road Traffic Department meeting with owners and the operators of Freeport Lift, a new company that is allegedly operating by transporting residents from anywhere in Freeport for just $10. The company recently came under fire by the Grand Bahama Taxi Union members, who charged that such an operation is illegal and disenfranchises local taxi drivers. Controller of Road Traffic Ross Smith telling ZNS News that a successful meeting was held on Monday evening and shares the details of those discussions.
We spoke basically about the law and how it affects public service driving, the public service industry in the Bahamas, and was able to share with them very, very succinctly all of the issues and laws that govern public service driving. It was very receptive, and each of them present was able to, they learned a little bit more than they did know, and we were able to leave cordially with persons understanding their roles in society as it relates to the public service driving, so as not to endanger the lives of persons.
Now, Smith says while this operation is illegal, he believes the meeting was fruitful, and the operators may now apply for a transportation license to facilitate the business legally. Now, when asked if charges will be filed, he responded this way.
I would come from the police area. We don't file charges as it related. I think the first thing we need to do is to ensure that people understand. Sometimes people are really operating in ignorance. So it's our job to ensure that they understand the law and how to operate before we get into trying to jail people for things or charge people for things they really don't understand, right? And I think they left with an understanding, and I don't think it is, to me personally, I don't think it's necessary to do that.
A local youth activist calling for a united approach in the fight against crime as police continue the recent double murder. This local activist says a community effort is what is needed to make a difference. Natalia Hall reports.
The month of February got off to a bloody start as two Grand Bahama men were gunned down near a business establishment on Logwood Road. Youth leader Dudley Sade says the situation is heart-wrenching.
Our men, our young boys, don't have an opportunity to have their grandkids. They are dying on our streets every day because you step on their feet. They're dying because for no cause.
Sade says in order to effectively combat crime, everyone must come together as one.
Our country, the police force, the churches, the businessmen can't sit on the sideline anymore. We need to unite before we lose our great country. My heart is full to see countless men, countless young boys heading to Foxhill Prison. Fathers and mothers cannot sleep at night, wondering if their child is going to come back home.
He's asking for corporate Grand Bahama to invest in all of the youth organizations that are on the front line trying to make a difference.
Doing the job because they love it. And we still losing our young men. The biggest problem they have today, they're searching for identity. It's easy to make your money and sit behind your wall and say, it doesn't affect me. The young men are crying for our help every day. And they need us.
Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. There's more news right after this.